Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Terry Weiszel, and I have the privilege of serving as Vice President of Workforce Development and Community Education at Westchester Community College. And I know I'm joined by all my colleagues at the college when I welcome each and every one of you here today. For some of you, it's your first time at the White Plains Education and Training Center, and so welcome, and we invite you to look around, ask questions of those of us from Westchester Community College about our programs and our approach to affording training and education to the residents of this county. But for many of you, this is a welcome home. And so I welcome you back. I thank you for your passion and your commitment and your dedication to the opening of this center. It was your vision that created the White Plains Education and Training Center. It was your hard work that opened the doors in 2016. And we're going to hear from some of those people who were instrumental in that opening in just a few minutes. Before we do that, I would like to acknowledge a couple people who lived and breathed and slept the White Plains Education and Training Center and are our guests here today. And that is the former Deputy Commissioner of Planning for the City of White Plains, Linda Puoplo. I don't know if Patty Steffiero has been able to join us yet, but I think she is coming. And Patty was on loan from the Youth Bureau of White Plains to this center and was Linda's steadfast partner in the opening of this building so many years ago. So Linda, thanks for everything you did. Thanks for reaching out to Westchester Community College so many years ago to ask us to partner in our training efforts here with you. And thanks for helping us as we transitioned through the operation of the center. It seems like ages ago, but thank you. I want to thank for a minute the Culinary Tech Center. They are our co-tenants in the building, and later this afternoon you'll be enjoying refreshments provided by the Culinary Tech Center students and staff led by their chef, and also a special treat for you to take with you from our own culinary arts students at Westchester Community College. We look so forward to creating partnerships between those two programs and offering opportunities for CTC students to advance in their culinary arts work at Westchester Community College. The pandemic may have delayed White Plains Education and Training Center. It has certainly not lessened our commitment and our conviction to serve the residents of White Plains and our county, thousands of whom are eager to enter or advance their place in the workforce and simply need the access to the training and education to do so. We're prepared to open those pathways to middle skill careers. It is those careers that we know serve as entry points and those careers that we know that support family sustaining wages for our neighbors and our community. I'm joined today by so many WCC colleagues, both in person and remotely, and I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to say a special hello to the Honorable John Nona and the Reverend Robeson Smith, both who serve as Board of Trustee members for Westchester Community College, and not only do that in their spare time, but work to raise up the community and the county of Westchester. So thanks to both of you for joining us today. And finally, I want to acknowledge the critical role that employers play and that philanthropy plays in our continued efforts to provide effective workforce training, in particular here at the White Plains Education and Training Center. We could not do it without your partnership, and we are forever indebted not only to the financial support that you provide, but to the partnership you provide in allowing us to conceptualize and plan workforce training programs that are truly meaningful. So a special thanks to the Westchester Community Foundation, to J.P. Morgan Chase, to the All Within of the band Metallica, to the Gerstner Family Foundation, and to PepsiCo. And thank you to those representatives from those organizations that are with us today. Again, you'll hear from a few of them later. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Belinda Miles, President of Westchester Community College.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Terry. I was given some instructions for handling the mic. Is that okay? Okay, mic check is solid. So, colleagues and friends, what a pleasure it is to be here with you today. We okay, Jose? Okay, because Jose starts to grab the headphones, I have to adjust. But we are so happy to be here for this long-awaited opening of the re-envisioned White Plains Education and Training Center. Internally, because that is what the initials suggest to us, but Westchester Community College is so pleased to partner with you. I thank also the members of our Board of Trustees, our former board chair, the Honorable John Nona, Reverend Dr. Robeson Smith, we're glad to have you here, our White Plains liaison, and other members of my executive leadership team, members of our faculty as well who are here. We're existing in a changing landscape, and we have really moved forward with this effort during a changing landscape. Our board has responsibility as stewards of the mission of the college and also stewards of the resources. So we have to look at ways to keep evolving, to meet the needs of our community, and also meet the needs of our institutional solvency and sustainability. They're keepers of the vision. Mayor Roach, congratulations, and thank you for your partnership. It's always wonderful to see you in the community. We're often around the same tables, strategizing, and you've had to put forward a vision for what a livable city is like, dealing with issues like transportation and housing, and how do you educate the folks that can be prepared for the opportunities as you're luring businesses into the region. So we thank you for having been partners with us since 2016, and now as we reopen this space in a new way. To our government, community, and philanthropic partners, we thank you so especially because we have overlapping missions oftentimes, and during those points of intersection is where we really need to power through to determine what our mutual aims are for the community that we're all seeking to invest in. And we thank you for your help. We thank you for reaching out to those who can help on behalf of those who need help. To our faculty and staff, you're so courageous and innovative, and you bring new ideas to us. You challenge us to think about new ways of doing things to bridge the gap between where people are, where our students are, and what they can be on behalf of the business needs and industry needs. And our students are so wonderful. Please thank them when you have an opportunity to say hello. Our students inspire us and challenge us to develop new tools, new content, and new methodologies for relaying to them the skills that will prepare them for this ever-changing workforce. It's not a static place anymore, and everybody has to constantly be scanning the horizon. So we each have distinctive roles to play. And I want to give a very, very, very special thank you to Terry Weiszel, our Vice President for Workforce Development and Community Education. Terry is just extraordinary. She comes to me and she'll say a name, and I don't know who everybody is. I just came to Westchester 7 years ago, but I know now. She knows the movers, she knows the shakers, she knows the visionaries, she knows how to get them around the table, she knows how to think about what's needed for business and industry. She has assembled a marvelous team, business engagement, and Charles McGinnis, our Assistant Dean, who will take you on tours of the facility after we have made our little speeches today. And so I'll just, as I prepare to bring up the next speaker, just share a couple of points that we're celebrating this renewed commitment to partnering with the city of White Plains. It's an important part as we sit in the county seat here in White Plains, and providing education and training for all of the residents. And this is timely. You'll note from the banner here that we're celebrating our 75th anniversary at Westchester Community College. That's 75 years of helping members of our community gain, maintain, sometimes regain or relearn, and advance the skills needed for their places in the workforce. We were not deterred by the perfect storm of the global pandemic, the social and racial unrest, and economic struggle. Rather, we seized the opportunity to power through, daring still to dream, and to put in the work to create opportunity that can change the lives of the individuals that we serve. And this has been our collective purpose. We don't do it alone. We do it as part of an ecosystem. That means we all work together. And community colleges have a very special place in the higher education landscape. We're a vital regional institution, especially positioned to supply local economies with the critically needed talent that they must have in order to operate with the middle skills workforce. In New York State, community colleges in the SUNY system cannot be founded unless a local regional government determines that they would like to have them, so we have to be invited, and they make a commitment to provide that support. So we're really delighted to have not only the partnership with the county, but the fellowship with the cities and the various municipalities. And we've been the first choice for thousands of students during these 75 years, especially those who are unable to access other traditional learning experiences. We are also first choice for many individuals who have been historically underrepresented from education and career opportunities, and also those who are displaced and may find themselves in need of upskilling in order to maintain their position in the workforce. This very space is evidence of our role as a bridge builder. It brings together housing and education, which is an unusual mix, so that you can walk a few feet from your doorstep and find yourself with state-of-the-art education opportunities. We're also connecting people with the in-demand skills that they need in order to keep pace with what's happening in the workforce. And we're also linking to our future by investing in talent today. So thank you all. Thanks to all who helped us to get here today. And thank you all for everything that we'll achieve in the days and the years to come. It's a pleasure working with you, and I now have the pleasure of introducing a colleague who I consider to be a powerhouse in her role as Director of Westchester County's Office of Economic Development, Bridget Gibbons.
Oh boy, I should have worn my high heels today. I did not. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to congratulate WCC on the reopening of this great facility. And congratulations. If COVID has taught us anything, it's that in order to have a thriving and resilient economy, we need to embrace people and provide the training that they need to have access roads into careers that are fulfilling for them. You can tell right now, many people have not come back to work because they found their jobs to be less than fulfilling, and they feel like they have an opportunity to take a step back and rethink. And programs that are going to be offered here are really going to be instrumental in helping people get back in the workforce. In addition, in 2020, way back when in 2020, the Office of Economic Development conducted an economic development strategy project. And what that report identified is that we have a very big gap in the middle skills jobs. And that really constrains our economy. Our businesses that need those middle skills workers can't grow if they don't have a pipeline. And so I believe that this organization, this institution will provide people with the skills that they need to really fill those middle skill jobs, which are really pathways to great careers. The 2022 budget for Westchester County has a significant investment in workforce development, so I'm really looking forward to partnering with this facility and others across the county to really fill out, and bring new programs and really focus, to a high degree on how we can really have a maximum impact. So this is a great first start, and I'm so excited to be here, and congratulations to you, and I know it's going to be really successful. So thank you very much.
Dr. Miles referenced the partnership that we have with the City of White Plains, and so it's now my pleasure to introduce two individuals who will speak one after the other, both of whom supported and conceptualized the White Plains Education and Training Center from its very, very first days. Those are my mayor and the mayor of White Plains, the Honorable Tom Roach, followed by Mr. Matt Carter, Executive Director of the White Plains Housing Authority.
Thank you, Terry. It's great to see everyone here today. I'm really happy to be here, as I always am when I come over. This project was very close to my heart when it started, and Mac and I worked together a lot on it. I was pretty new mayor when we were trying to get this off the ground. And as I recall, at the time, we had another building that was going to be change hands as part of a tax credit thing. We were being offered like $40,000, and I said, let's look into this, and we found out that, hey, we had the right of first refusal, and so we were taking that right of first refusal. Next thing, I think we got $1 million, and that actually helped us get this whole thing off the ground. But an added kicker was we thought at MAC we would improve our score if we added in an educational training center, and so great, we're doing it. And then it became, when we got it, all right, what's it going to be? And that's where Linda Popolo came in and basically detached from the planning department and became the person who got things kind of rolling here. And I like here when she was in high school, which is something that I always grew up knowing. And my dad, actually, now I might throw my dad into the mix because he went into the Navy before he graduated from high school. The family needed the money. When he came out, got married to my mom. I was born like a year and a half later, but the only reason he got his associate's degree is because of Westchester Community College. He would go at night while he was working. He couldn't. He had to work, of course. And he would go at night, and that's something he always appreciated. And he always told me he didn't go to the graduation because he couldn't justify spending money on a gown when he had kids. And that, so to me, what this does is bring so vital everywhere, but our community college is particularly amazing. It's got such a beautiful campus, so many wonderful facilities, great instructors. It's just such a wonderful resource. I just read about one of the college's graduates headed for Harvard, and this is what happens there. This is what happens here. And we talk about student loan debt and things like that. And people don't really realize a lot of that debt is for people that got nothing for it, that went to, I'm not going to paint with such a broad brush, but the for-profit colleges that promise the world and they just don't deliver. And the community colleges have always been here trying to get people into the jobs they need to be in. This program where we train people actual demand. I stood here at a graduation once. I think there was about 8 people. 2 of them got phone calls during the right. You remember? It was like 2 got calls, 1 to get the job and 1 to get the interview, I think, which just really, said so much about it. So I also love the fact there's a culinary program that always gets me back too, because I'm always willing to participate and sample the good things that happen. But thank you all. They say it takes a village, right? It takes more than a village. Something this good takes an army and a village and a town and a city and a county, and you're all in the room, so thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Dr. Miles. As the mayor and Dr. Miles indicated, and Terry, my name is Matt Carter. I'm the executive director of the White Plains Housing Authority and CEO of our not-for-profit, which is WP Housing Company. I want to thank the mayor, truly thank the mayor, because this building and the center would not have been built if it wasn't for the partnership back in 2017. HUD offered housing authorities across the nation an opportunity to design, to develop, and build an educational center. And so they established a grant called the Cfcf, Community Facilities Grant. We applied for it. The Housing Authority was one of 5 in the nation to receive that grant. And what was needed was for the community to participate, and we needed a partner because we had to have some matching funds. The mayor, our mayor, members of the Common Council stepped up and ability to say, we're going to help this housing authority, our housing authority. And they did that. And we got the matching funds. And we infused those funds into the overall funds to build this building. That's what happened. That's how we got this building. And again, we're one of 5 centers in the nation that has a educational and training program. I like to say now, we have a college on our campus. So, and I tout that throughout the nation. when I go out for conferences. So I want to thank, again, the City of White Plains, the Common Council. I also want to thank my staff, who's absolutely superb, and my board of directors for the Housing Authority and the board of directors for the not-for-profit. They've been superb in our support. And again, we welcome Westchester Community College. We welcome all the administrators. We're here to support you. And I won't make guarantees because I do that when I build new buildings. But I can almost assure you that we will do everything in our power to support the college and its mission and everything that you need. Thank you very much.
Mac, I too want to thank you and your staff. I think that Eridania has a hotline, not only to your staff, but to you directly, and so I thank you for your continued support. And she has it all, I know. I'm not the least bit surprised. Thank you so much. I also want to pause a minute to thank some folks at Westchester Community College. Our wonderful media team. They've always been wonderful, but the pandemic has challenged them to serve us in ways that we could only, maybe didn't imagine 2 years ago. So thank you to Jerry Maselli, to Peter Pagan, who's with us today, to Jose Chavez, and to the whole team. We appreciate you. Our communications team is here, Mark Stoller, Ed Tatton, the wonderful window screens that you see on the window. I think that you really would have to be driving with your eyes closed not to know that and we hope that's not the case, not to know that Westchester Community College is here. And so we look forward to making our presence very well known to the Westchester. So thanks, Mark, to you and Ed and the folks there. And then the transition has not only been programmatic and aesthetic, but there's a lot of infrastructure transition that has taken place. And so my thanks to Tony Scordino, our Vice President for Information Technology, and his team, to Brian Murphy, who I know is watching us via live stream. So thank you, Vice President Murphy, our CFO, and to his team, Rob Cirillo, who is here, our Director of Facilities. Thank you, Rob. And our Director of Security, Scott Sullivan, and my entire team in Workforce Development and Community Ed. We're also joined by our Provost, Dr. Vanessa Morris, and her great Academic Affairs team, Dr. Carmen Martinez-Lopez and her faculty. And what's worth mentioning, among many things, is that we're committed to short-term workforce programs that then provide access to advanced education. And so I'm looking forward to work very closely with Dr. Carmen Martinez-Lopez and her faculty in the areas of IT. We're looking forward to introduce advanced manufacturing in a partnership with the county through pre-apprentice and apprenticeship programs. And also in the initial stages of introducing some construction-related programs that focus on sustainability, and all of those things being offered here with pathways to opportunities at our main campus in Valhalla. So I'm looking forward to all of that. There's a lot of work to be done, and this really only marks the beginning. We have so many things to be proud of at Westchester Community College, but one of the things I think that we would all agree we are most proud of is our Westchester Community College Foundation. We are among the strongest foundations in community colleges across the country, and they are true partners with us in the work that we do in student success. And so I'm delighted now to introduce the chair of Westchester Community College's foundation, Joanne Landau, to speak briefly about the work of the foundation and introduce some of our partners. Joanne?
Thank you, Tara. And can everyone hear? Welcome to everybody. It's really an honor to be here, and it's a gorgeous day to look out here. My name is Joanne Landau, and I am chair of the Westchester Community College Foundation. The Westchester Community College Foundation has been raising funds to support the college for 50 years, so close to the 75 behind me. We believe that education is a great equalizer. And our mission is to develop relationships with like-minded individuals, foundations, and businesses to create this equalization. Today's celebration is the culmination of many people's vision and efforts, all working together to put Westchester back to work. I'd like to recognize two very special organizations today, and as mentioned earlier in Tara's remarks, there are many, so really thanks to all. I'll get them to a minute. I'd just like to also say special thanks to our staff. We have Eileen Lieberman and Dolores, our new executive director, here with us today, and we also have some folks virtually. So many thanks to all of you for all your hard work on this. And I will add Eve Lerner's name to that, who is our previous executive director, who spent a lot of time on this project as well. So with our two institutions that I'd like to highlight, I'd like to mention firstly J.P. Morgan Chase. We have had a long and very fruitful partnership with J.P. Morgan Chase, spanning 30 years and close to $2.5 million to date. It makes it our foundation's largest corporate donor. But it's really similar to earlier remarks, not just the numbers, but it's the relationship. It's the distinctive projects that J.P. Morgan has worked with us on and the extraordinary impact that they have had on our community, our region, and nationally. And it's with their possibility and that we are a success. So I'd like to introduce Pat Lunka, fellow board member also on the foundation board, to say a few words. Pat.
Good afternoon. Well, Dr. Miles, you said it right, or best, when you said it's so wonderful when there's the intersection of missions among organizations, and I'm so pleased that workforce development is among one of the highest priorities of our foundation. So on behalf of J.P. Morgan and my colleagues on the ground in the foundation, Janique Drews and Rafia Zahir Uden, we are so pleased to be having a grant of $400,000 for 2 years, and this follows the initial grant of $150,000. And our foundation is tough. And they are so impressed by the people at Westchester Community College and their professionalism. And so I thank you very much. I am so impressed. In fact, I looked at the agenda, and I see that Python training is one of the courses. And I will tell you, I had never heard of it until about a month ago at work, when a young associate took the initiative to learn it. And she was praised by everyone. So clearly, you are having curricula that is in demand. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Pat. Our next institution, we have Laura Rossi here. This is the Westchester Community Foundation, not to be confused with the, did I say community? No, I said this right. Westchester Community Foundation, not to be confused with Westchester Community College Foundation. Westchester Community Foundation is a donor-advised fund and a division of New York Community Trust as Westchester Community's endowment. Their permanent funds allow them to respond to emerging community issues and invest in bold approaches to persistent problems. They have been supporting transformative projects in Westchester for over 45 years, another big number, and have been an early supporter of this initiative. I'd like to invite Laura Rossi, Executive Director, to say a few words. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Joanne. It's a pleasure to be here with everybody. It's wonderful to make a philanthropic investment that's a big bet, and to do it with a great funding partner, J.P. Morgan Chase, who was here at the very beginning. And I'm going back to 2015, when this was a vision. And the bet was really in terrific people who believed in the vision and had the tenacity and the powering through, to borrow a phrase of yours, to make this happen. So it's a note of congratulations to all of you. I was just there at the beginning. I really want to cede my time to Tara Seeley, who is the Senior Program Officer at the Community Foundation, to whom I turned this project over when she came on board, and she has a few remarks. Tara.
It's really good to be here with all of you, and I want to follow up on Laura's hint to you that we were tipped off to this great vision by a funding colleague at J.P. Morgan Chase, who said to Laura, I think you should take a look at this. So that funding relationship and his belief in you inspired us, but that was not the only thing that inspired the Foundation's big bet. It was the vision of Mac Carter and Mayor Roach, the vision to put a beautiful and important education and training center at the heart of a reimagined public housing campus. That vision inspired our big bet. And after that first grant of $100,000, which was for the Foundation really quite remarkable, last year and the subsequent grants taught us so many things as the City of White Plains and its many partners figured out all of the potential for this great place in all of its inspiring beauty and with all of its vision. As we watched the center mature and its approach and learned from the pilot years, we were really gratified, and we learned along with you. We really saw that that vision was being realized and that people's lives were being changed for the better. When the city entrusted the college to lead the center, we were happy to make another big bet to support that transition year. We know firsthand through close work the dedication and talent of the college's workforce and community education team. They continue to inspire with their creativity and their determination, their deep knowledge of industry and business in this community, and their unflagging belief in the potential of their students. As the Community Foundation, with our finger on the pulse of community need, we know how important this center is. There are too many of our young people who are not yet aware of the opportunities that exist for them, and there are too many working adults who are underemployed and struggling to support their families. The college's deep resources for workforce development and college credits belongs right here, in the heart of a beautifully reimagined public housing campus, in the heart of a dynamic city, in the heart of a dynamic county. And so congratulations to Dr. Miles and all of the people on her team, and congratulations to all the City of White Plains and of the Housing Authority and their teams who brought us to this point. We are really proud to be here with you to celebrate.
Hasn't this been extraordinary? I'm just so pleased and I'm so grateful. Please join me in another round of applause for all of our partners. Just a few brief closing remarks. We appreciate your attendance. We look forward to your continued engagement and partnership as we continue to evolve here at the Westchester Community College White Plains Educational Training Center, the WCC, WP, etc. That's what we'll call it. So please proceed to the lobby at this time, and we're going to have a ribbon-cutting ceremony. I see the scissors over there. They look pretty substantial, but don't worry, I know how to sew, so I know how to cut. And so we'll have refreshments as well, and we will have Ribbon cutting up here. Okay, I didn't see the ribbon, so I'm sure that there's a ribbon. Yes, okay. So thank you for your help with the logistics there. We'll have our ribbon cutting, and followed by the refreshments with our culinary arts students from WCC, as well as from the Culinary Tech Center, as Terry introduced earlier. So I hope you'll join us. And Charles McGinnis is our Assistant Dean of Workforce and Community Education, so he will guide you on that tour. Thank you all for your participation. Those who will be joining for the ribbon cutting, I believe, are the folks up here, our partners, and all of our partners, right? And so will you guide us, Terry? And we will go ahead and arrange ourselves for that opportunity. We'll follow your leads. This is the other part of our leadership, posing for photos, taking direction.